I'm gonna learn about my people and I'm gonna share those stories. So the first thing that I thought I need to learn is what happened in the ceremony of the rain. How come it rains every time? So I went to a little village and talked to a shaman, and he accepted to take me for a few days, and he showed me a tree and the properties of the plants, you know, and the seeds and everything. When he showed me a tree that it was being devoured by ants, thousands, millions of ants are coming down with the leaves, and they make a path on the grass, you know, and every day they follow like a parade of leaves, you know. Every day the same story until one day in the middle of May we saw the path full of leaves, but there were no ants. Shaman told me, it's the time. And we both ran to the next village, ring the bell, do the whole thing, and that night I ran. Understand what I'm saying? If the ants are hiding, it's gonna rain. It's not about dropping a car in the cenote. But the Mayans in those days, 1,000 years ago, they had no idea. So when they drop a lady in the cenote and it rained, they thought, oh, this is the answer. A couple of years later, in the desperation because it's not raining, they don't go tell the shaman, they got another lady and drop it in there. And it didn't work. Of course, it's got nothing to do with it. But the Mayans just scratch their heads like, maybe she wasn't that pretty. Or maybe she wasn't that young, you know. And they go get another one and another one. We found 289 bodies. 289 bodies, but 11 were ladies. Like Shakira says, hips don't lie. 11 were ladies. So my friends, we took the first one, dropped it, and it rained, and the next 10 times it didn't work. And the mice scratch their heads like, we're not gonna kill all the ladies in town, are we? It's a terrible mistake. And the king says, from now on, whoever is not a friend is an enemy. Translations, we're gonna collect more tributes to the other villages. And whoever is not paying this new tax ends in the well. So the hunger for power, the hunger for more tributes, for more benefits, makes the Mayans do crazy stuff, you know? They're dying hungry, they're dying thirsty, they're dying drinking polluted water, they're dying in war, they're dying in sacrifice. They're dying, but not the poor. I mean, not the rich, the poor people is dying, but not the rich. So the poor people, 95,000 one day got enough, escalate the wall and jump in. Imagine you're surrounded with a wall and 95,000 people escalate the wall and jump in. Where do you run? There is no way to escape. So the rich people die and the knowledge is gone with them. So if you were a rich person in the next town, you better run. Rebellion is spread all over. And systematically, every city collapsed. Every city collapsed. And they only had one thing standing, the hope. A tall guy with a long hair and a long beard and a bone structure Caucasian, a bit of white man is coming. And when he comes, he's gonna bring peace and he's gonna put everything back in order. Spanish arrived right on time. So we don't fight the Spanish. We gave him treasures, we gave him the best we got. And the Spanish thought, well, if this is a gift, it got to be a lot more, you know? They made us slaves for another 350 years. And then we fight back. 300,000 people had to die, but now the Mayans are free. We've been here for 3,000 years, but we've been free for 100 years. My friends, the people that you see around, they are directly descending of those Mayans who built the pyramid. And most of times they had no idea, because none of this, I'm telling you in the last 4 hours, none of this they tell us in school. you know? They only tell us things they want us to hear, right? Like the battles we win. Nobody talks about El Alamo, where we lost Texas, California, Utah, Colorado, Nuevo Mexico. No one talks about that. We talk about Cinco de Mayo. Next week is gonna be a big party, Cinco de Mayo, because we beat the French. We kicked Napoleon with the greatest army of the world. That's what the authorities talk about. The battles we win, not the things we lose. Understand? They only talk about what they want us to hear. So no one talks about these things. All right? Mayan people around you, they have no idea. They were just scratching the surface. They know a little bit. Most of it they ignore it. All right? The Mayans used to play a sport, not as a ludic, not as an entertainment, but they play this ball game as a ceremony. 7 players each team. Remember that? 7 players each team. When you go this way, you go all the way to the ball field. When you go this way, you go all the way to the ball field. And the camp is large. The camp is from here to here, 168 meters, 500 feet. Starting there, ends right there. And my friends, when you go inside there, you're gonna see 2 big walls, and on the top, they got rings. The rings on top, 6 players pass the ball to the captain, and the captain passes the ball through the ring. Like Quidditch, you know, Harry Potter's. Ball goes right through vertically, not horizontally like basketball, but vertically. So 6 to the captain for the ring, point, 1-0. They rest. Second team takes the ball, 6 to the captain for the ring, point, and the score goes 1-0. The team who makes a point take it from the other team. But they rest, and the first team goes again. Boom, 1-0, 0-1, 1-0, 0-1. So who wins? When the music stops, whoever has the point is the winner. Like musical chairs, you know? Now the question is, who controls the music? God. God is the sun. The sun comes down in the afternoon right behind the wall, and when the sun comes behind the wall makes a shadow. The lower the sun, the bigger the shadow. You see? When the shadow comes to a certain mark on the floor, game is over. Only God decides the winner. In theory, you know? Because I started doing this 32 years ago. And when we started, we could climb everywhere. And we found that we were talking to you in this corner. And we got quiet and we continued hearing voices. And we saw the people on the other side, 168 meters, that were talking. And we were hearing them. In other words, the acoustic inside there is so great that let us think the king watching the game on one corner can tell the music and band to stop. In the other corner. 168 meters, 500 feet away, they can talk to each other, you know? So imagine the king is watching the game and suddenly he feels with his divine powers that he shouldn't have those 12 iguana tacos with guacamole and he needs to go home now, you know? He's not gonna wait for the shadow, he's just gonna run and say, stop! And music on the other side will stop, you know? One human being deciding the life or the death of another human being. Like Caesar in the Colosseum of Rome, right? The Mayans probably did that. One player, thousands of losers, but one player is chosen by God, so he puts a knee on the ground and they chop his head. His head is going into a bowl on a stick and deep flesh. Take the flesh off. And then bury the head right there. Do you see these decorations? Skulls. And every skull that you see on the decoration has got a stick on it. My friends, more than 1,000 decorations, there are only 65 real skulls we found inside there. So, if the camp was made 1100 and the Mayans abandoned Chichen Itza at 1250, in 150 years they killed 65 people. The average is every 2 years. It's like Olympic.